Take a look at Intel, which is giving up 6% today and is actually one of the worst performers on the S&P after its 16% gain yesterday on reports they could sell parts of the business, kind of break itself up, and that would go to Broadcom and Taiwan Semi. The shares are up 28% for the year, but our next guest insists a U.S.-based foundry business simply wouldn't work, even with billions of dollars of grants from the government.
The number one foundry out there is TSMC, and they literally gain share every year. In our opinion, and we've written about this, what the U.S. government should do is just give it all to TSMC, have them build fabs in the U.S. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels. You're just wasting money.
Prophetic remarks. Christopher Danely is back with us on what he thinks of this rumored takeover deal. He's a semi-analyst at Citi. I mean, that sort of sounds like what they're doing, Chris, is being like, here, Taiwan Semi, you deal with this, and Broadcom, you can have the better piece.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm super embarrassed to be wearing the same shirt this time that I wore in the last week. I need to update my wardrobe. But yeah, I mean, we've been saying this for a while. If you want to chop Intel in half, the analogy I would use is like building a house, right? When you're building a semiconductor, it takes a few months. There's a lot of different steps. You want the design people to talk to the manufacturing people. Building a house, you want your architect, ideally, to talk to your contractor. And it's the same thing with making a semiconductor. So if they want to spin off non-core businesses like Altera or Mobileye or whatever, that's fine, no big deal. But as far as splitting the core businesses, not going to work. And again, we continue to believe that TSMC is the best foundry out there. They're building factories in Phoenix and Arizona, in the U.S. Just give them the money and call it a day.
Many of our viewers and listeners, Chris, got rich for years just buying Intel stock. It was one of the legendary American companies, Andy Grove and his whole team, for decades. Yep. Just Intel inside. We all knew the jingle. A lot of people still think that way. Oh, the stock's down by, 2/3, but that makes it a good value. Is Intel a good value?
So I like where you're going. I still think Intel is one of the great manufacturing companies out there. That's manufacturing processors, not chips for other folks. This foundry unit for Intel is literally losing billions every quarter. If they got rid of the foundry, the merchant foundry business, and focused on manufacturing, I think you're back to the Intel of old. You've got a path to $3 or $4 in earnings, $50 or $60 stock. It's not complicated. It's just this foundry effort is sinking them. So I totally agree with you. I think there is value there. But you need someone to be able to extract the value. We actually think that Pat Gelsinger was pretty close to extracting that value. And, by the end of this year, it looks like Intel can get at least close to the competition. Now that he's gone, now that they've had some defections and there's no, CEO there yet, that's in danger.
That's interesting because a lot of people thought, well, he's had his chance, and now you're saying, listen, without him there, what's the path forward? I mean, can the market resolve this, Chris? Does the U.S. government need to be involved, ought to be involved?
That's a great question. So, I'm a taxpayer. We're all taxpayers. I want my taxes to get used efficiently. I agree that, having a leading edge foundry, leading edge manufacturing in the U.S. is a good idea. I also think that I want my money used efficiently. Intel's proven for 20 years they cannot do leading edge foundry. They've also proven for 50 years they can do leading edge processors. Let them do leading edge processors. TSMC, you do the leading edge foundry. I really don't think it's any more complicated than that.